lineage. I'm the really damaged. I came out and make. Put my name up like a banner boat. Acting tough and I'ma let her go. Name her who got a better flow. She can hang it up just like a telephone. Speaking up with the cost 10K to let it come see it. Hands down here, make it come treat it. Spin, make it come beat it. I want the new in the machine out. Jewelry be caught like the temperature zero. I'm the boys, they call me the hero. Heavenly, then they know what I be on. I'm the best, I'm the best. And I gang, on my gang, on my own. Get my way up, and I go, and I go. If I touch it, then it's cold, then it's cold. I'm the best, I'm the best. And I gang, on my gang, on my own. Get my way up, and I go, and I go. If I touch it, then it's cold, then it's cold.
Yeah, alright, my flow sinister. This ain't rap music, this straight literature. Small-minded, all your ideas miniature. They tend to hate on you when they can't get rid of you. I ain't going nowhere, 20-year career minimum. Call Hit Boy for beats, ask for 10 of them. I don't follow trends, I swing the pendulum. If the bag good, I'm gonna give her some. Let's reflect times, I try to collect minds from complex rhymes. And by the way, shout out Tech 9. Go and shut the up, just let me talk. I'm a time bomb that's waiting to go off. Quite nuclear, amazing what fame could do to you.
The first open back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Superdome in downtown New Orleans. Today, we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive, eluding the pressure right. And his first pass is incomplete.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary, all of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll run it. Here's Cook. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. The 30. 10. 5. Touchdown. Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his second rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings march right down the field in 3 plays to claim the early advantage. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down. We often give credit to the O-line. There, two tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. The Saints at 3-2, a game over 500 here to start the season. And they come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Jameis to throw it. And Davis with it left side. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A very solid gain of 27.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Winston. Flushed out, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Give that sack to Harrison Phillips, the big man. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives, and they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week. And you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Uses the spin. Well, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. Jameis now on 1st down. There's Chris Olave. Touchdown, New Orleans. Chris Olave, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints have taken the lead. Lutz good on the extra point. And the lead is now 10-7. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
All told, it's a loss of 8 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free. And it brings up 4th down.
I'll tell you what, these last couple of drives, much better from a defensive perspective. They gave up a touchdown on the opening drive. And then after forcing a punt on their last possession, it looks like they're going to get the football back again.
Fielded at the 33. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10
motherfucker moving around quick. That boy moving around quick, huh?
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter of play. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Throwing, Winston. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
That's a pretty play there coming out of the backfield, but as that back, you've got to be conscious of making sure you're securing the football. When you get out in open field, sometimes you get a little loose with it as you're trying to get up ahead of steam. Make sure you keep it close to your body because those defenders are trying to punch it free. He does a nice job there protecting the ball and picking up a 1st down. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense. So 1st and 2nd down went in the wrong direction. They'll try to do better here on 3rd and 13. Now Winston. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Kamara is not going to get in here as they push him back to the 2-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Again, Kamara, and this time he scores. Touchdown, New Orleans. And they would not be denied on the ground, powering it in just 1 play after they got stopped short.
And how about how many tight ends are on the field? Because in today's NFL, we think of a tight end more as a pass catcher. But this group, they tell them you've got to be able to run block to stay on this team. And they committed to it and got it done right there.
And this is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. A good gain on first has them set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Tanner Muse with it. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. Sliding out of the pocket. He completes it to Olave. Touchdown! Chris Olave. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Lutz with the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. They'll send the tight end in motion left. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Ryan Wright. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They have been red hot, sometimes white hot here in this first half. They're just looking to add to that total right now.
And this has to serve as a reminder to myself, because so many times I get wrapped up in the play calling, how they've sequenced things, how it's run. But, you know, at the end of the day...
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. And the Vikings will take over here just shy of the 30. Well, he's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that. but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. That one a first down pickup of 8. Back to throw here. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Looking to throw. And he's got this to Jefferson. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. He'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. C.J. Ham from 10 yards out. And the Vikings get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's going to go up top again. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw, Winston. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. From the 10. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
And they went into the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Here's Winston. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
On play action, Winston rolling to his right. Finds Hill on the crossing route, complete. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Steps away to his left. Throwing out right here, caught by Olave. He'll get it inside the 20. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A big play that time on the catch and run. 30 yards. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's first and goal just outside the 5. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. Winston. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. The line of scrimmage is the 3 as they look to cash in on third and goal. They'll try to run this one in. They push forward, but I don't think it's enough. He's going to be about a yard short. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. I'm looking down from our booth. You can tell this crowd wants them to go for it right now.
And believe me, he knows it. And he's weighing that through his head right now. Actually trying to filter that out because this needs to be a cold decision by him.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston. And the Saints take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. The PAT up and good, but hold on a second. There is a flag, and they'll accept that penalty. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. It's a squib kick that still makes its way down inside the 15. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the Saints are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their own 46. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. Now Winston. They'll get this out to Kamara. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 66 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football, caught him off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
And that is incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row,
You have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. Winston to the sideline here on fourth down, and Will Lutz gets set for a New Orleans field goal try. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Saints are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores. But, yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And, look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is a team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've hit it 50%. 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Winston now. This one incomplete. Probably should have been picked. A little nonchalant with a throw to the safety valve, and it's 4th down. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. 29 yards. And the Saints look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. Saying, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together. and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. 3rd down, Dalvin Cook. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Now, no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. He's been tough for this defense to handle, over 100 yards. You kind of knew that they were going to him on that play, didn't you?
They certainly did. That's one of those situations where you simply say, my best runner over my best blockers, let's go ahead and pick it up. And I don't care if they know it on the other side. Here we come, and they got it done.
The throw over the middle taken in, and he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. So a big play as it gets him all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll set up a throw. And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Vikings get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. The Vikings leave the offense on the field as they're going to line up and go for 2. They'll try and run it here. And he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Oh, they'll mark him inside the 1. He just couldn't keep churning those extra few inches. And the 2-point attempt is turned aside. And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here, stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do. Late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it...
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Andrew Booth picks it off. And the Vikings are going to get it back here just past the 35. They exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And, Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball. And that one was picked off.
And complete right side to Cook. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota. A false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on 2nd down. Now back to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Marcus May with a pick. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. the 34 now. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Winston. And he'll throw this one away. But I don't think he was out of the pocket. No, here comes the flag. We saw it, too. Nobody in the vicinity of that throw, and that earns him the penalty.
Yeah, you've got to at least get it close enough to one of your own guys in order to dodge the penalty.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to be met at about the 43. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. And he put enough leg into it, but it's well off to the right and no good. And the lead will hold at 3 touchdowns. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for comfort.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. They'll look to throw here. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Paulson Adebo. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit. And receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much.